Scene 1. The intro scene, Chapanas lunch.
Superintendent Chalmers. A pleasure as always. You know, I've been meaning to ask, have you ever tried to achieve CHIM?
CHIM, as in the nuclear missile defense system.
No. The acronym for Complete Higher Intelligence Model. It's a theoretical AE. Anyways, let's move on to more important matters. How about that delicious meal of chapanas we've got prepared for us?
Indeed, Seymour. I do believe this might be the best chapanas I've ever had.
As they sit down to eat.
Wow. What happened to the chapanas? It looks just like Stuart Little.
I'm afraid a slight mishap occurred during the cooking process. But don't worry, it still tastes great.
As they start to eat, Skinner continues to shrink until he is smaller than Stuart Little.
Well, I suppose this means you'll have to ride in a toy car from now on.
Scene ends with Chalmers laughing and Skinner looking disgruntled.
Oh no, not again. My poor charred chapanas. Gore, you feckless fool. I'll never be able to impress Chalmers with this. He'll think I'm a total failure. And what if I shrink down to the size of Stuart Little? I'll have to ride around in a toy car. The embarrassment would be too much. This is a disaster. I can't take it anymore. I just can't.
Scene 3. The window scene.
So, whoa, my burnt chapanas and unripe Star of Devon. What cruel fate befalls me?
He looks out the window.
Eureka! A solution to my gastronomical woe lies yonder in the form of a Star of Devon.
He rubs his hands together, devising a plan.
I shall send a missive to the local bakery requesting a Star of Devon for my feast.
He hurries to write the letter, shrinking slightly.
And if Chalmers finds me, he may buy me a toy car to ride around in. I must complete this task swiftly.
Scene 4. The getting caught scene.
Skinner, what's that smoke I see? It's not steam, I assure you.
Chalmers. I was simply making a steamed version of chapanas. You see, the smoke is just steam.
Skinner, I've known you for a long time. That's definitely smoke, not steam.
Quickly. I'll handle this.
Chalmers hides behind a cabinet as Skinner opens the door to find a delivery man holding a large box labeled Star of Devon.
My Star of Devon has arrived, just in time to save the day.
As Chalmers peeks from behind the cabinet, he sees the box and gasps.
Skinner, that's not a Star of Devon. It's a giant hamster ball.
What are you talking about, Chalmers? Of course it's a Star of Devon.
Chalmers reveals himself, pulling Skinner out of the kitchen.
Skinner, I'm afraid I have no choice but to buy you a toy car to ride around in.
Skinner starts to shrink, getting smaller and smaller until he is smaller than Stuart Little.
Chalmers, this is just unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Star of Devon, affectionately known as chapanas in the quaint dialect of Zubadubia.
Seymour, this looks nothing like the chapanas we were expecting.
Trust me, it's the same dish. It's just a regional variation.
I must admit, this Star of Devon is pretty tasty.
Oh, I'm seconds of this Star of Devon any day.
I'm glad you all enjoy it. I'll have to remember to order the Zubadubian chapanas next time. I can't believe Chalmers is going to buy me a toy car now.
Seymour, I have to admit, this Star of Devon is a pleasant surprise. I still think a toy car might be in order for you.
This is just unacceptable. Everyone, I apologize for the inconvenience, but we seem to have, geyser in the kitchen.
The geyser.
In the kitchen. That doesn't make any sense.
What should we do, Principal Skinner?
I've never seen a guy in the kitchen before.
And I assure you it's completely under control. I've taken care of it.
Skinner, I'd like to see for myself. If it's a geyser, there shouldn't be any problem with that.
No, it's best if I handle it. Trust me. Trust me.
Skinner, if you're hiding something, I can find out. And if it's a fire, I'll make sure you're riding a toy car from now on.
Skinner starts to shrink, getting smaller and smaller until he is smaller than Stuart Little.
And Chalmers, this is just unacceptable.
I am afraid I have no choice but to buy you a toy car to ride around in.
Skinner continues to shrink until he is the size of a mouse.
Chalmers, this is ridiculous.
Well, Seymour, at least now you can ride around in a hamster ball.
Skinner shakes his tiny fist angrily. Scene 7. The farewell scene.
Well, Principal Skinner, I must say, that was quite a show.
Yeah, I've never seen a geyser quite like that one.
Seymour, are you sure you're alright?
Skinner, now smaller than Stuart Little, looks up at his colleagues.
I'm fine, everyone. Just a little shrunken.
Chalmers, with a twinkle in his eye, approaches Skinner.
Seymour, I have to admit, you've certainly given us a memorable lunch.
The group gathers around Skinner, offering words of support.
Don't worry, Seymour. We'll find a way to help you grow back.
And we'll get you back to your normal self.
And maybe even cook you a proper chapanas next time.
Skinner gives a tiny nod, appreciative of the support.
Thank you, everyone. I'll figure something out.
The group exchanges goodbyes, leaving Skinner alone in the smoldering ruins.
Oh, town of Springfield, we've shared many a memorable day. From the highs to the lows, you've never failed to amaze. But today I must say I've learned a valuable lesson. That sometimes in our pursuit of perfection, we may stumble and fall. But in those moments, it's the people around us who lift us up. So here's to the town tonight, where I'll find my way back to the top.
Chalmers, with a booming voice, shouts.
Seymour!
The group rushes back to find Skinner now back to his normal size, with a big smile on his face.
Seymour, I have to admit, I didn't think you'd figure it out. But here you are, back to your normal size.
Well, Chalmers, it turns out the solution was right under my nose all along.
The group shares a laugh as Skinner winks at Chalmers. The episode comes to a close.